Hey folks, welcome back to Money and Politics. It's Friday, January the 7th, and I'm going to be going over just a couple of things today. It's the end of the week. I'm looking forward to having a glass of wine or two, and I'm sure you have things to do too. But I wanted to just close out the week with a couple of insights on some of the stocks, and we'll go over those pretty quickly. So one of the things is, of course, let's start as we normally do with take a look at Humble. Down slightly today. The markets were down. The S&P down about 0.41%. The Dow, we'll call it break even. The NASDAQ down about 1%. The Russell 2000 down 1.2%. That's small businesses. And crude oil was down slightly, 0.65% to close, down 52 cents, I should say. To close at close at $78.94. The volume on Humble, we'll call it 7 million shares, and not really any particular news. I think that we might be looking coming up, the OTC upgrade, the QB, so that might be happening in the near term. Now, that said, let's take a look at, we talked about oil, and I'm going to bring up what a viewer wrote in a minute here, but let's take a look at DIG. So with oil at 78.94, we see, and interestingly, it was down slightly, but DIG went up, as you can see, $2.47. Let's take a quick look at a 6-month chart. So there you go. Now, what's interesting is somebody, I don't have their name right in front of me, but they responded yesterday that their oil play is VET, which I frankly had not heard of. And I wanted to look at it and put together a chart to kind of see how has this VET been doing. And here's the chart, and I'm going to make this a little clearer. VET is Vermilion Energy, and in the last year, it has had a 52-week low of $4.34 and a high of $14.15. And right now, VET is at $13.97, so just under $14 to bring that up. And you can see it here, up a little bit more after hours, just below $14. The volume traded today, 2.8 million shares, which is a bit above where it has normally traded over the last 10 days. Now, let's take a look. There's the year-to-date. That's 2022. If we hit the one-year chart, you can see how it has been going. Good volume, good increase. And so the question is, do I think the oils are still going to be growing? And yes, I do. And one thing that I liked about VET, just to go back to that for a moment, is the fact that it is priced at $13.97. So it's far more affordable. You can see on the lower right here in the right column, we got the revenues. I don't like that it lost, but this is going back to 2020. We're waiting for the 2021 numbers. And you can see that they had 1.5 in 2019. The gross revenues were $1.53 billion, $1.5 billion. Their earnings then were a scant $32.8 million. In 2020, their revenues had gone down to $1 billion, and they lost $1.5 billion. But it is interesting in how it has performed, and that's where I wanted to bring this chart back up for you. We have here, and I'm going to take some of the stuff out. I'm going to take NVIDIA out, which has done really well. And as you know, oils, or you may know, oils before 2021, oils were not doing well. And it was, especially with the closing down of the economy in 2020 with COVID, all the oils were doing lousy. They weren't doing much before that, but they certainly got kicked in the teeth when they were down in 2020, which is why I wanted to start buying them at the end of 2020, thinking we are going to have a world recovery. We're not going to be closed down forever. And frankly, now that 2021 has come and gone, I would have thought that we would have opened in there the full world economy. We haven't. Oil did recover substantially, but I think we have room to go because we still have so much of the world economy that has not covered. So let me take out some of this for a moment. NRGU is in red, and for the 1 year, an NRGU is a 3x exchange traded note, but you see that went up 188%. That says 175. I'm getting a little bit of a difference in the chart because I'm covering just a little bit of a different time period here. But basically you can see that it came up first. But what's interesting is when we have VET in there, and that's the black line. Let me take this out for a moment, and I'm going to take UPRO out. Okay, so now we have NRGU, we have VET, and we have DIG, and you can see DIG came in last, but VET came in just about, just a little under, and it's not quite showing up here, but it came in at 172%. So VET came in at about 172%, and that's, as I said, currently just at about $14, where NRGU, where it's a 3X play, but that's close to $200 now. I think it's actually closed at about $212. So the idea of having a VET, if you want to have an oil play that isn't quite as highly priced, you can buy VET. I think the oils will do okay. One of the positive things about the NRGU, as I said yesterday, is you get a series of items. Actually, I may not have covered that yesterday, but it was DIG. But you get a series of different oil companies in one with DIG. And the other item I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to change, trying to remember if I forgot to mention something. You know what, before I go to that, let me cover, as we've talked about, InMode. InMode has been going down for a number of weeks now, and went down, as you can see here, 6.67%. Now, folks, I'm not sure why this is, because there is no public knowledge, no news to say that something is gone amiss with INMD. I think, therefore, unless there's some insider trading going on behind the scenes on bad news, and I don't think that's the case. I don't know that people want to risk their staying out of jail for trading behind the scenes. But I think this is still a buying opportunity. If you want to see where it goes, we should be getting, now that we are at January 7th, and their earnings are probably going to come out in the neighborhood of a month from now. But InMode, again, typically puts out a advanced earnings note before they publish their actual final numbers. So I think it's a buy. I did buy some the other day, actually a little bit higher than this. So there you go. I wanted to bring that. And then the other one that came up, and I wanted to, oops, got the wrong symbol. I wanted to bring to your attention. I'm not pounding the table and telling you to buy this, but same with Vet, I wanted to bring these to your attention. They look interesting to me, and the other one, and this is priced almost exactly the same, very near exactly the same as VET, is Earthstone Energy, ESTE. And as we go down here, you can see the earnings consistently over the last 4 quarters beating the estimates. That's a good positive sign. You can see the revenues took a bit of a dip in 2020, but solid revenues going there still on the top line, $144 million in revenues. And I think this could be a play that I would say take note of. Go and look at the articles both on Zacch, that's Z-A-C-H, on Yahoo Finance that we have right here. Take a look at this, see what you think. Yahoo Finance, if you may notice in the lower left of the screen here, this multicolored says it's undervalued in the first column there. I think energy plays could be interesting. Now, don't load up too much on energy in any one field. You can put some in Vet, you could put some in Earthstone, you could put some in Dig if you want. Again, you guys got to decide what fits in well for your own portfolio. But I do want to be bringing some of these to your attention, and I think Earthstone Energy is a stock that is worth a look and worth a consideration, and it has enough shares traded at 700, almost 800,000, but which, by the way, is almost twice their normal rate for the last 10 days, because they normally trade more around the area of about 400,000. So this was trading, I should say, at about twice the normal average today on 800,000. That's still enough for all of us retail investors, enough liquidity that we can get in and out. So, folks, that's basically what I wanted to bring to your attention today. A lot of also just say that, this goes to shows that I am listening to your suggestions, some of the things you say. That's where I got the idea to take a quick look at Vet. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Give me your comments on what you like, just as that sometimes. In fact, I have another very interesting series of questions that I did get sent to me from a viewer who emailed me, and I'll bring that back up again, and was asking me about what I thought on a whole series of things. It was just too many questions to get into this afternoon as we're approaching 6 p.m. in the central time zone of the United States. I will go over that, and it has to do with where do I think the markets are going relative to a rising inflation period, rising interest rates, and what impact do I think that may have on the overall market and some of the real estate holdings. So I'll at least share my thoughts on that. It was a great question. Maybe I'll do that over the weekend here if I get a chance, and it looks like I might, with it continuing to be pretty cold out here in the central part of the United States right now. We have currently about 16 degrees. It was down to 1 degree today, but overall it's been a good warm winter, at least through the end of 2021. About a week ago, it was 63 degrees here, setting record highs. So I'm not going to be complaining. But for now, I'll let you get out to have a beer with your friends and family. Have a great dinner. Stay warm, stay safe, and stay tuned. We'll be bringing you more information as we go along throughout the rest of 2022. Thanks, folks. Give me a thumbs up if you would.